Hello everybody, my name is Kyle. This is Kyle's Trail Miles, where I talk about all things running and ultra running. It has been a little while since I made my last video, probably back in the summer. I did have a couple of other videos that I was going to bring out, and then it just didn't really work out, but I have a whole new sort of plan moving forward for this channel, so stay tuned. But what I'm going to do in this video, because I think it's just so kind of relevant, is I'm going to go back, I'm going to review what my training looked like last off season, last winter. Even though I made videos about it, I mean, you can go back, I made almost a weekly video of how my training went. And then I'm going to kind of discuss the mistakes that I feel I made in that training. And then I'm going to just kind of briefly showcase how my race season went. I'm not going to go into each race in too much depth because I am planning like a actual race recap of each one, because I have extensive notes on each race, what I did right, what I did wrong, how my training led into that. And so I'll kind of save that for another video, but I'm just going to do a brief overview of the summer, and then most importantly what I've already changed heading into this off season. As I record this, it's November 21st 2025, and so I'm already planning my race season for 2026. In fact, most of my races are already booked and ready to rock. So let's get into it. Okay, so first of all, if you watched any of the videos last year, let's actually go back a year. Let's go back, not last off season, but the off season before that. My training regimen basically was minimum 42 kilometers per week with an interval session, a longish run, and then I tried to do a little bit of cross training, a little bit of biking, things like that. And so looking back, like, it wasn't a ton of training in the off season, but and then weight training as well. I did in the off season as well, and that was a great off season. I came out of that year, I had one of the best running seasons that I've had. I felt great, and so in my mind, I thought, okay, if 42 kilometers got me to this point, and I almost podiumed a race. I was 3 minutes out of a podium, so I'm like, man, if 42 kilometers got me here, what would 70 kilometers do? What would upping my weight training do for me? So that became my main process goal last off season, was get in 70 kilometers per week, treadmill, outside, whatever I had to do, and then do I usually do like a 30-minute sort of YouTube workout, Carolyn Gervine, and then I upped it to the 45-minute one, the Epic series. So I'm like I'm going all in. So last winter off season was an absolute grind. Like, I remember last year's off season going by like relatively slowly, because every day was like a real grind. Like the weight training program was just, it was so intense. It was such a grind. And then treadmill, it was just a lot of grindy zone 2 miles. And so what happened is I basically like threw off the table any interval training, long runs, because that didn't sort of fit my process goal. I mean, I could do intervals great, but it didn't help me sort of get to my goal of 72 kilometers, because it's much more efficient to just run for an hour than it is to do interval trainings from just a distance perspective. And so what happened is I just became like ultra focused and obsessed on the 70 kilometers per week. And so whatever else I had to scrap to make that happen, I did. And unfortunately, that was my intervals and my long run. Because let's say I came into Sunday and I had like 30K left to do to get to that 70. Well, I would do 10 in the morning, 10 in the afternoon, 10 in the evening, because it was just a little more efficient. And then I was still ready to go for Monday, for example, rather than doing like a 30K run. So I just didn't get that long run legs in me, and I didn't get the intervals, which really had an impact, which I'll get to in just a second. So anyways, I come out of the off season. Off season was a long, grueling off season. It wasn't fun, but it's kind of what I had to do. I needed to grind out that off season, and I did. I got it done. So I come into the race season and I think, like, man, given the amount of grind that I just experienced, like, I am going to destroy this race season, which you can go back and look at the videos and watch that, and me talk about that. But so I come into the race season, and the race season was just kind of flat. Just to give you a quick overview, like the Backyard Ultra, which is the first race in May, it was a super hot day, and it was factors in play there, but I think I only did like I think I've blocked it out of my mind, but I think I only did like 13 or 14 yards. My goal was 24, and I kind of came up with some excuses about the heat and everything, but I just didn't have it that day. So anyways, then next one was the marathon, and my goal for the marathon was just to kind of take it, not go like crazy. It wasn't my A race of the year. And so I just wanted to kind of, feel good in the race. And I did okay. I came in at like 3:35, I believe, which is a reasonable time for me. And I don't feel like I really like put it all out there. So I was like, okay, like this is good. Like, okay, a little hiccup on the backyard ultra, but I'm back back going. So then the next one was my favorite race. It's a 30K race down here in the hills of Lethbridge, the Cactus Coulee Crawl, and that was the one I was hoping to podium. And I came out way too fast, like way too fast, and it was a total disaster. I mean, I finished it. The time was okay, but I was nowhere near the podium, and it's just. So that's when I started to think like, hey, something's up here. Like I was way faster last year. Like what's kind of going on? Then I had my sort of like A event of the year where we did a 4-day like fast pack around like the Rocky Mountains, Banff area, 246 kilometers over 4 days, and it was amazing. Great, amazing experience. I'm gonna do a full video on that. Me and a buddy did it, and his wife crewed us along the way, which was awesome. Set up our tent and everything. It was the most amazing experience of my life. So it was great, and that went really well. And that's really the A race of the season, or the A event of the season. That's what I was kind of training for. That was the first thing I thought of in my training, and so for that, the training actually worked really good. There was some definite interesting things that happened on that adventure, but got through it, worked good. Oh, I should mention before that, I had a calf strain, unrelated to running, but maybe brought on by running. I don't know. But I couldn't run for an entire month before that. Like literally an entire month before the fast pack trip, I could not run. And that sent a few challenges my way, which again, I'll leave that for that video. But anyway, so coming out of that, my calf was reasonably healed for that event, which was good. And then coming out of that, I did a Moose Mountain race, which is basically like straight up a mountain. And then it was one of the best races, one of the most fun races, I should say, that I've ever done. Doing it again next year. And it was okay. I went the wrong way because I'm an idiot. And so my time wasn't as good as I thought, but I felt great. And that was sort of like a little bit of vindication. I'm like, okay, like this is good. Like I wasn't maybe as fast as I wanted, but given that I had to take a month off, I was like, okay, this is all right. And then my sort of like A-ish race of the season, which was the 100-kilometer Los Sol Ultra in September, that was the one that I was really excited to, just make things happen. And I felt good going into that. I felt reasonably good. But that was the weirdest race because I come out, it's Saturday, Friday, I guess it's Friday morning. Weather is absolutely perfect, like crisp outside and just amazing. And so I'm like, okay, like I'm so ready for this. I felt great. I had great sleep leading up to it, great taper. Like everything was just perfect. And so the first little bit of this race is this like sort of single track. And so I got in this little Congo line. And so we're running like 6:30, like almost close to 7-kilometer pace, like not fast, which is good. And so cruising along. And my goal was to keep my heart rate in the 140s for the entire day. I didn't want to hit into the 150s because it's a 100-kilometer race. I mean, you can't redline it. So I thought if I can keep my heart rate in the 140s, I'm good. So I'm out there cruising and I look down. It's probably like 3 kilometers in. I look down, my heart rate's like 145. So I'm like, it's perfect. All right, so I'm cruising, and I'm like, wait a minute, 145. I'm like, I'm running like 6:30 pace. Like this is super slow. Like, and I'm 3 kilometers in. Like my heart rate should be like under 120. It should be like 118. It's 145. I'm like, what? And then I'm thinking maybe my watch is wrong. Like, what is going on? And so, and you can kind of tell when your watch is wrong because it'll get like stuck on a number. And I'm like, and it was working. I'm like, what is happening here? And so I'm cruising along, and then we get to the first climb. And first climb, I've gone out and I've done it since then. And the pace we were going, my heart rate would be like might peak into the 130s, 135, maybe. It jacks up to like 158. I'm like, whoa. And so that was my day. Again, I'll do a bit of a race recap on that, but it was just a horrible event. Just did not feel good the whole time. I don't know if I was fighting something. I don't know. I don't know. But anyways, so that was an ultimate fail. I actually DNF'd after kilometer 70, which is actually kind of an interesting story, but I'll get into that another time. So I come out of that and I'm like, okay, this was like not a good race season. Like, it just wasn't a good race season. Like, I never felt that pop. I never felt that. Like, the previous race season, I remember being in races almost being like, how am I feeling this good, this far into the race? And this season was the exact opposite, where almost every race I was thinking, how do I feel this bad this early in the race? I did way more training, way more grindy training over the winter. Like, what's going on? So then after some extensive soul searching and whatnot, what I realized, or I don't know, it's my theory, is I was overweight. That's one thing. I came into into the race season a little bit heavy, like probably 5 pounds heavier. Maybe you could argue even 10 pounds heavier, which, I thought, well, once race season starts, I really get into things. The weight will come off, which, doesn't usually happen because you're eating more during race season. And so that wasn't great. But I think the biggest thing was I wasn't doing any interval training. I wasn't like jacking my heart rate up and really sort of getting that fitness where it needed to be. I was just doing that zone 2 training. And as you watch any YouTube video, zone 2 training is great, but you have to get that speed work in there to crank up your heart rate. And I just wasn't doing that, because again, I become so obsessed with whatever my process goal is that it's like, that's all that matters. And so I just have to be careful with like what I set as my process goal. So coming into this year, what I decided is, okay, scrap the distance. And the other thing I noticed from running 70K all winter was I came into the spring and it's like I wanted to be excited to get out and run lots, but it took a bit of mental gymnastics to get there. Like, I wasn't just like inherently just like, yes, I get to get outside and run now. Like, I kind of had to convince myself, I think, because I just been running so much on the treadmill. And so anyways, so this year totally changed everything. As soon as that race was over, I decided, okay, 2026 racing season starts now. I took 2 days off and I was like, all right, I'm jumping back in. And so my plan going into this was, I'm going to do a ton of cross training. I'm not going to just live on the treadmill this winter, but I am going to get in at least one interval session or one speed session a week and one, long run a week, whatever that looks like. Hopefully over 20 kilometers, but as the season progresses, longer and longer. So those are my only 2 requirements. If I only get on the treadmill or outside running twice a week, that's okay. As long as I'm getting on the rower, the bike, I'm doing all kinds of things like that. A lot of like HIIT training and high heart rate training, and just, I really want to just focus on my fitness and just being as fit as possible coming into, March, April. And then I can start sort of really layering on some run specific workouts. But that was my plan. It's just absolutely get your fitness as high level as you can while doing weight training as well. So then what happened was, and I didn't have this planned, it just kind of like happened, is my son turned 13, and before he turned 13, he wasn't allowed in the weight room of any like gym here in town, because you got to be 13. I don't know, they don't let anybody under 12, even with a parent. And so the YMCA, we have this beautiful YMCA that was just built like a few years ago. Like, it's got to be one of the nicest ones in the world, maybe. I mean, it's absolutely huge and it's beautiful, and it's like right down the street. It's like I can be there in like 3 minutes by car. And so on his 13th birthday, I said to him, look, if you'll commit to coming with me weight training, 2 to 3 times a week, like, I'll get us a membership. And so he's like, all right, I'm in. And it's always hard for me to justify getting a membership because I'm always outside. I'm always out running in the summer. And then in the winter, like, I have a treadmill and everything. So, but awesome, man. Like, let's do it. So we get the family membership, and now all of a sudden weight training isn't this like absolute grind it out in my basement for 45 minutes and feel like I'm going to die after. It's super fun because I'm spending time with my son. We do the machines rather than the weights. Now, is it as good of a weight workout? hey, let's argue that. But I really, really enjoy it. And it's super fun because I get to hang out with my son, and it's just an awesome experience. So from that perspective, it's great. Then I decided, okay, well, if I have this membership anyways, like let's see what we got here. So I look up spin classes because I thought I really want to get into cross training, get into biking. And so I look up spin classes. There's a spin class every Monday, 5:30, Thursday, 5:30, and then Saturday morning. So I'm like, let's try this out. So I jump into my first spin class, and it was awesome. I always had this impression, like I see these people in the spin classes, you hear about it on TV, whatever. I don't know. I always just thought it was like a bunch of people that just got together and you just like rode the bike for an hour or whatever. Like just, okay, put it on level 5, see you in an hour. Like, I don't know. It's just like how my brain worked. But that's not it at all. Like it's this crazy, it's exactly what I was looking for, because it's all about intervals. It's like, okay, we're going to go hard for 2 hours. We're going up a hill, and they got this big screen. They're like, we're going to go hard. So set it to level 5, give it everything you got for 2 minutes. And so you give it everything you got, and then, okay, we're going to, take a break. And then we'll have like races. Like I'm super competitive. So we'll have like 3-kilometer races up there. And, yeah, so it's just like exactly what I needed to like just jack up my heart rate and just really kind of get things going, get my fitness where it needed to be. So I think I've gone to I've gone to every single one, other than if I'm, traveling for work or something, which I think is I think it's up to like 20 or I don't know, more now. And so, yeah, so already I've seen my fitness improve a ton from that. And then the other benefit at the gym is they have a row of stair steppers. And so the first couple of times I went on the stair stepper, I was like, oh, okay. And now I just like love it. And I can already feel like, I just feel so much better on the stair stepper. I remember the first time I did it, I did 50 steps, and I was like, dang, like that was hard with the 20-pound weighted vest. And just last night I did, an hour spin class, and it was like one of the harder ones. And then I did 300 flights of stairs, or 300 floors they call it, with my 15-pound weighted vest. That was a little bit harder last night, I will admit. Once I hit 250, like I was thinking. But anyways, long story short, it's like the greatest thing, because this off season is just absolutely flying by. Like it's already November 21st, and it feels like it should still be September. Like it's just super fun. Spin class is awesome. Stair stepper's awesome. When I am on the treadmill here at home, it's great. Like it's not this grind, because I actually enjoy it. Throw on a football game and throw, do some miles. It's just so much different than when you're grinding it out every single day. And so, yeah, like, I don't know. And I feel the best. I've probably said this in other videos, but I feel the best I have ever felt in my life. In fact, I have the most energy I've ever had in my whole life. Like every single day I wake up and I'm just ready to go from the day before. And I can't wait for whatever I have planned for that evening. And so, yeah, whatever it is, it's super working for me. And I'm just going to keep doing this through the winter, and then come, once I can get outside in like kind of that March, April time, then I'll start, hopefully getting some big runs, some big speed sessions out there. But for now, I'm just going to stick to this. One interval or speed session on the treadmill per week, one long run per week, whether it be outside or on the treadmill. And then I'm just going to hit spin class, weight train with my son. We do some swimming. I try to get that in when I'm there. I'm doing a ton of like hot tub and sauna at the Y after my workouts, which maybe that's why I feel so good the next day. Like my recovery is the best it's ever been in my life. Like even last night I did, an hour spin class, and then I did 300 floors with a 20-pound weighted vest. And today I feel ready to rock. I could go out and do whatever today. Tonight I'm going to go do weight training with my son. Like it's just super fun. Like this is the most fun I've ever had training or exercising in my life. So there you go. That's what I'm doing. I'll leave the video at that. What I will start doing hopefully is like weekly videos on just how my training is going, what's happening. And then I don't know, will it translate into next year? I don't know, but I don't really care, because this is way more fun than what I was doing last year. And last year didn't work, so we'll see. And I am down. That's the other one trick I should say. Last year what I did is I kind of like you finish the last race of the season, which for me is like end of September or September sometime. And then until January, I kind of consider that like my off season. So I'm still training. Like I was still doing 70 kilometers last year, but I don't really eat great. Like I just, just sort of take a break. And this year, like no breaks. I cannot go into 2026 with weight to lose. Like that just doesn't work. It didn't work last year. It just doesn't work. And so as soon as that race was done, I'm like, all right, this is it. I'm losing whatever weight I need to lose by January. So my goal is to lose, I mean, I was getting like a little bit heavier there. So my goal is to lose about 12 pounds from September to January. And yeah, I'm already about halfway there. Like, I don't know, everything just feels like perfect. Like I literally feel the best I've ever felt in my life, and I'm 47 years old. So I don't know what that says. I don't know. Knock on wood. I feel fast. The other day I went out and I ran a 43-minute 10K. My PR is 42 minutes, but the 42 minutes was a few years ago, and it was like on a perfectly flat, not track, but a flat route. Whereas the one I did the other day, it was on like there's actually a little bit of elevation, steep elevation, and so yeah, I felt super fast. I don't know. Just gonna keep at it. I'm gonna keep pushing it. My what I've been able to accomplish in spin class goes up every week. I've been like raising the levels, and the amount of floors I'm able to do continue to rise every single one. In fact, fun fact on that, the only thing that keeps me from doing more stair steps at the Y, as I'm up to 300 floors, is just that I look like an absolute moron and idiot and psychopath, because I'm just like covered in sweat, and I got this pack on, and my hat's like I just like, nobody wants to come to the gym and see this idiot, right? And so I try to kind of get the one way on the far side, and just like, but it's like it's busy, and you can tell the people beside me are like, what the heck, man? And so at some point I gotta be like, all right. But if I had that thing in my house, I don't know, I'd probably do like 1,000 floors. Like I just keep going. Like, but anyways, so there you go. So everything's great. Sorry I haven't made a video in a while, but lots more to come. I am going to get into some running style videos in fact, I made one last year. I actually made like a running video where I was out running, and then some editing snafus happened. But anyways, I'll leave it at that. Everyone gets the gist. I can't wait to announce all the races that I'm in next year, because there's like way too many. It's going to be an awesome year. Oh man, I already can't wait. So, all right. Talk later.